Alright, well, welcome to part 2 of a video that I never intended to be a two-parter. Brian from the Epicenter.com sent me a whole bunch of really cool freeze-dried stuff that they had done themselves in their own Harvest Right freeze dryer. And I basically made a video of me checking all the stuff out, but it did end up being so long that I did have to split it up into 2 parts. If you haven't had a chance to see part 1, I'll put a link down below, and in that one we took a look at some diced tomatoes, cooked shrimp, a bunch of fruits, including bananas, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, peaches, strawberries, blueberries, and pineapple. And we also looked at some Gouda Babybel cheese. And there were also a couple of things I reconstituted in part 1, which we'll take a look at in part 2. And that includes white rice, fried rice, and those Gouda Babybels that I had mentioned earlier. So without wasting any more time, here's part 2. Alright, we're getting down there. I'm going to try these pickled beets. This doesn't seem to have a tear notch. The other ones all did, but this one doesn't seem to. You can say that beets are my thing, per se, but these are pickled beets. And from what I saw on the video, I'm expecting quite a bit from these things. Very light. They feel like potato chips. Can you hear them? Let's try these out. They look like little ripple potato chips, just that they're made out of beets instead of potatoes. Yep, they're right. That is very good, and can't think of much more healthy snack than that. I mean, it's just a beet. All right, it's pickled. I suppose it probably has some salt in it. Whatever's in the brine. But yeah, those are a winner. I'm eating all those. Let's try the hash browns. This is kind of a neat looking thing. And this I like because this is really a throwback to the old MREs from the 1980s. Back when they still had some freeze-dried entrees, they actually had freeze-dried beef patties and pork patties, and sometimes they would come with a freeze-dried potato patty, they called it, but it was basically one of these. It was basically a hash brown. These aren't quite as light as some of the other stuff. It smells like potato sticks. When you open up one of those cans of potato sticks. Let's try this out. Yeah, that's definitely dry. That's good. It's kind of salty. A lot like eating potato chips, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's potatoes, but it's really cool. It's really neat. So when they had these in the MREs, they would come in a little plastic bag, and they would say you can reconstitute with water or eat dry. It was always a lot more fun, and easier just to eat it dry. It would get a little bit soggy. Let's try to reconstitute it. Well, you know, we do have them here, though. Let's try the strawberry, and I'll reconstitute a little bit of the potato in here. Yeah, it's surprising they was still kind of on the hard side, considering how quickly the shrimp and the tomatoes reconstituted. I thought the strawberries would too, but not quite so much. But let's give this a few minutes and see what happens with that. All right, tempted to save this for last, but let's go for the pizza. Something I'm really looking forward to, and I believe the last 2 items will be our actual desserts. So you can see here, these are frozen pizzas, I believe store-bought. And then they just cut them up and put them into the freeze dryer. I can see here some tomatoes, some peppers, maybe some onions on here. I think they had a chicken one. This looks like it might be chicken and broccoli. It's kind of hard to tell. But it's sort of interesting, and what I'm expecting the texture and flavor to be like is, well, what they said. They call it pizza chips. And you can buy chips. You can buy, I know there's like pita chips and some other like snack things that are pizza flavored. And I just think it's kind of interesting to think that this is probably going to be kind of similar to that experience. But it's not a pizza flavored chip. It's literally pizza. And let's try that out. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, a slight sense of the sauce, maybe a little bit of the cheese. Not too much of a smell coming off of here though. But let's try this one first here. That's really good. That's kind of awesome. I definitely wouldn't reconstitute this. The flavor is definitely kind of like the flavor of a frozen pizza, you know, store-bought frozen pizza. But I kind of like those anyway, so I don't really have any problem with that. But the crust has really become basically a really crispy little cracker. Not too hard to eat. The flavors come through. I know they tried a few different kinds, and some I think were better than others. This, like I said, I believe this is chicken. Looks like broccoli and maybe some onion over here. Let's try that out. Yeah, that's funny. The chicken is weird. It just kind of breaks apart in your mouth. It's weird. Chicken on its own isn't great. I guess, yeah, I do taste chicken. After a while, once it kind of breaks down in your mouth, it does taste like chicken. But the overall flavor, everything all mixed together, it's really good. This is a great lightweight snack. That's pretty awesome. And that just leaves us with dessert. And for dessert, we have marshmallows. These are like that. Mini marshmallows. They look just like mini marshmallows. They look and sound a lot like those after dinner mints you get in a restaurant. I think maybe more in the old days than nowadays, but yeah, that's definitely what they're looking, feeling, and sounding like. Very dry. I can tell from the smell. They smell just like marshmallows. Yeah, I'm not expecting too much of a surprise as far as the flavor. And it's just what it tastes like. It tastes like a marshmallow. It just has an odd crunch to it. The inside does seem to have a bit of a chewiness to it. It's a super crunch on the outside, and you get in the inside, and it's a little kind of sticks to your teeth. But it's good though. And what they had mentioned on the Epicenter review is that these are, in addition to being like those after dinner mint kind of things, they're also a lot like the marshmallows in Lucky Charms, which is what we have here. And it's indeed true. They're these are a little bit extra sweet. I'm sure they have, I can't really say more sugar. I mean, marshmallows are basically sugar. But they're slightly crunchier than these, but really pretty close to being exactly the same. I've always kind of wondered about the marshmallows in cereal. I mean, they call it marshmallows, but is it a freeze-dried marshmallow, or is it its own little thing that is called a marshmallow? And judging by the similarity between these and these, my guess is that these are freeze-dried marshmallows. I thought that they would shrink up a lot. I thought the Epicenter was going to use like the full-size marshmallows and they were going to turn into something like this, but they just used the mini ones and they basically look the same as when they went in. It's good stuff though. And our last thing is these ice cream treats. There isn't a lot in here. You see we have 3 different kinds of ice cream, or 4. I'm not sure what this is. This is a strawberry ice cream. Brian didn't tell me exactly what they were, but let's see if we can figure out from trying them. And I have obviously had astronaut ice cream before. I've done a review of some astronaut ice cream with my daughters. And I'm almost hoping these aren't going to be too good because I would like to save a little bit to try, or give them a chance to try some of this too, my daughters. And I know at the Epicenter they've also done ice cream sandwiches, and I'm not sure if they've done other ice cream kind of treats, but definitely ice cream sandwiches. This smells like strawberry, like literally like the freeze-dried strawberries. That smells like coconut. I was going to say vanilla, but it actually smells like coconut. Not sure about that one. Yeah, what's this? Not sure. Let's see if we can figure out from tasting them. Obviously, I'm not going to reconstitute these because what's the point? They'll just basically just melt. What is that? I think that's peach. A little peach ice cream. It's interesting how there's this little channel in it. Yep, I think that's peach. It's got that, if you've had astronaut ice cream, it's got that familiar crunch and then creaminess to it. It basically, it's after reconstituting right in your mouth. These are definitely fully freeze-dried. I'm not actually sure what that one is. This was peach. This tastes pretty similar. Some kind of fruit. I guess I'm going to go with strawberry. And let's try this one, which I would have thought was vanilla from the appearance, but it's definite. Coconut. And this is cool, and a great way to bring ice cream along with you without it melting. There's all these flavors. You can do any flavor, I imagine. Chocolate chip, you can do vanilla, you can do chocolate, you can do coffee, you know, whatever. And this one I had thought was kind of something different, but apparently it's just, it must have just melted a little bit before it froze, before it was freeze-dried. Wow, that's really sweet. I wonder if this is more of a sorbet than an ice cream. Tastes like a strawberry, some kind of berry. That's really good though. So it's your, well, as I said, this is dessert, but we're not quite done yet. Because we do have the rice, which I was going to add a little bit more water to, but it definitely soaked up all that water. Probably could use a little bit more. But you know, we have white rice. Yeah, that's good. Not terribly crunchy. I think the top might be a little bit. I can hear a few little bits there, but it's just a matter of adding a little bit more water. And the fried rice. And that's actually really good. I like that. I think that's everything. But why don't we take this chance to take some of the stuff that we reconstituted, like some of these tomatoes and the shrimp. Just cut a little bit of that up. Throw that in there. And I forgot to check in. Oh man, yeah, I think these hash browns are definitely to be eaten dry. I mean, you could do this. You could reconstitute it and then maybe fry it up a little bit. But now it's just soggy. It still has the flavor, but I definitely think that's a good dry food. But yeah, if you were out camping and you had a bunch of these in your pack and you're making a nice breakfast with like eggs and bacon, I guess it wouldn't be bad to reconstitute that. Maybe not leave it in quite as long as I did. But that's good. And you know what? Actually, since that is reconstituted, it doesn't necessarily seem like it goes with this, but let me throw a little bit of that in there too. I know one of their other videos that they did at the Epicenter was they had reconstituted, or they had freeze-dried a bunch of different condiments, like ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauces, mayo, all kinds of things. It's a mixed bag of what they got as a result. But let's try this little concoction here. With the fried rice, diced tomatoes, a little bit of the hash brown, and some shrimp. Interesting. I suppose if we had reconstituted these could have gone in there too. So I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. I'll just come back and we'll see what becomes of this cheese. Actually, you know what? That's actually very soft on the bottom. Let me take a little bite of this. No, it's still definitely solid. Give that some more time. So, stay tuned to see what happened with that. But other than that, this was a lot of fun. And I have to say a huge thank you to Epicenter Brian for letting me join in on their freeze-dried fun. And of course, as always, thank you for watching. Okay, and that just leaves us with the question of what happened with the cheese. Well, I think we can safely say that freeze-dried cheese is not going to be able to be reconstituted very well. At least not one of these Baby Bells. The folks at the Epicenter did theirs, and they said they gave it an hour or two, and it would not reconstitute. And you can see here, it does have a very soft cheese outer layer, but it's still hard inside. Actually, no, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought. But I gave this a whole day, and it still seemed to be in the same shape. Basically, it very quickly reconstituted on the outside and became soft and slimy, and the inside stayed really hard. So I gave it another day, which means this is actually the result of 2 days of rehydrating. And I wasn't going to try this because I had assumed it was no good, but maybe if you get rid of the slime on the outside, maybe it's not that bad on the inside. Let me give it a quick try. Yeah, I guess it is like cheese on the inside, but it's strange because it's really firm in the middle, and it just quickly, from the middle to the edge, becomes wet and slimy. So if you're going to freeze dry cheese, unless you're going to use it in something, like if you're going to put it in soup or I don't know, something with cooking, I would say just eat it freeze dried. I'm not sure if it's worth the effort of trying to reconstitute it. So for the Epicenter.com, I'm Epicenter G-Schultz 9, signing out.